What's going on, everybody? Drake Van Tall here again with Performance Financial. Really, today I'm going to lay down some information and really let's just have a little conversation about we're halfway through the year. You calendar guys out there that are tracking your year on a calendar basis, dude, we're halfway through 2021 already. 2020 was a freaking nightmare, but we're halfway through 2021 already. Things are opening back up, things are going. Now's the time, though, for a little gut check. How's the business doing? Are things on track? Are we hitting the goals that we were kind of setting out to hit? So um, I'm going to talk about some of those key points today in our video and just kind of give you guys some information to learn from. Maybe it takes you a step back and you go, oh, haven't been thinking about that in my business. Maybe these are some things I need to look into. So what do we do here at Performance Financial? One, great at helping with accounting work. We'd love to help you out there. We do a lot of tax planning and then business advisory. So this is where we're going to sit down and kind of hold your hands, be that other helper. I joke with a lot of my clients that, sometimes business owners, they want to talk about what should I buy a truck, should I finance, or should I pay cash? And sometimes they want a little bit of a mentor session. They want to have a little therapy because it's a little bit lonely at the top. So what I'm going to do is lay down some of these ideas. I want you guys to think about them. If you have questions or comments, leave them below. I'd love to answer them, kind of help you guys out. But here's some gut check questions. How is your year going? So first, start off, we're 6 months in. One, do you have a budget? Maybe you don't, and that's totally fine. Two, have you been following anything? Do you have set goals or anything like that in place? So what is a budget really going to do for you? So yeah, they're not sexy, they're not fun, but I always like to think in SMART goals. So if you've heard that acronym, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and on a set time, a budget's really doing all of those things for you. So by implementing something like that, we can really get on track or monitor that we're on track. When people always ask you, how's your year going? And you say good, what are you comparing good to? If you don't have a budget, you don't have anything that's telling you that things are going good or bad. You're just giving out a general, and maybe you're just making small talk. That's okay too. But having a budget is really something that you can really do easily in your business. It doesn't take a lot of time, especially if you've been tracking things in the past. You can kind of look at some of those trends, and it kind of gives you some forward thinking opportunities. So a couple things that you need to think about when you're doing a budget. Do you have cash needs? What are your cash needs for the rest of the year? Maybe you're finished with your really busy time of the year, and now you're coming into where the cash isn't going to come in as heavily. Man, I hope we didn't just buy something expensive and expended a lot of cash when cash is going to come down, or we need to get creative to find other ways. So budget can kind of help tell us some of that. The next thing is, man, if you're having a good year, do we have to pay taxes? So budget for some of those types of big expenses. Everybody always jokes that nobody should be surprised when Christmas comes. It happens every year in December, just like taxes. They come every year and we need to pay them. So it's no surprise that we need to have some cash set aside for that. And maybe the year's going awesome. We have cash set aside for operations. We have cash set aside for taxes. Let's take a distribution. We're in business to make money. We're in business to take some money for us, to be in our best personal performance that we possibly can be. And so maybe it's time to take some of that money out and enjoy some of that, the fruits of the labor and the work that's gone into running your business. Number two, next topic, tax planning. I can already hear it. Oh, here's the boring CPA talking about tax planning. I'm here to tell you, tax planning is not a scary thing. It's something that can really help your business out and help really save you from a cash flow perspective, from really disrupting operations. So no, not everybody wants to tax plan in July. Not even most people want a tax plan, but something we need to be doing. So one thing, this could be a great gut check. So earlier when we were talking about budgeting, this kind of pulls into that. Do we have enough cash set aside that when March, April rolls around, we are ready to take money out of the business and cut a check to Big Brother, Mr. IRS? Do we have that in place? And if not, what things do we have to do differently from here on till the end of the year to get some of that cash set aside? So doing some of that planning today can help save us a lot of hurt later on, down, come beginning of 2022. Then finally, if we're having a good year, what are some things we can do in the next 6 months that we can actually help lower our liability? Do we need to buy some equipment? I mean, maybe that can help us out right now. Maybe we have some future needs where some things are starting to wear down, that really taking some time and doing some tax planning now can really help kind of figure that out and help build a better picture for our business and where we're sitting. Third topic I got, employees. Now, I could make 17,000 videos on just talking about employees. It's the hot topic right now. Everybody's talking about them. But what they're not talking about is how are you incentivizing employees to really do a good job when you're out on your jobs or wherever they may be? Are you providing some way for them to have some skin in what they're doing to make sure that they're staying focused, they're not pulling out their phone and texting their side person, or calling up their girlfriend, or ordering pizza at night, or seeing what the boys are doing after work? Let's get them focused. So just had a conversation with a guy yesterday, and he was like, every time I can't leave a job site because the minute I go away, I pull down the road and I stop and I watch the guys and they quit working, they climb out of the hole, and they're just on their phone. He's like, I feel like I always need to be on top of them. Very common. And we don't want to lose employees right now. We want to incentivize good behavior. And so we want to mitigate bad behavior so we don't have to fire them because, let's face it, employees are tough to come by. So what are some ways we could put some plans in place to help incentivize good behavior? I hear a lot of people talking about having a tough time with guys showing up in the morning. They went out and partied too hard last night, or they just aren't morning people. Let's put an incentive in place that says, hey, make it to the job on time every day this week. The project manager or supervisor, whoever's in charge there, they say yes or no if you did. And this job goes well, we get a bonus, $50, gift card, whatever. We have a specific metric in place to track that. Next thing is, maybe we need to look at how the guys are doing on specific jobs. So I know some guys, they will really look at what is the profitability on this job? Did we hit our timeline correctly? Did we not have any callbacks? Did we meet our labor expectations on it? Because labor can kill us on a job. And those employees go, the job gets done regardless. I work on it regardless. I get my paycheck. But if you can find a way to layer in there, hey, if this job goes well, you get a cut of the job going well. Not only will it help boost profitability on your end, it's going to make the employees have a little skin in the game. People are motivated by some of that additional cash. So think of unique ways that we can set realistic metrics to help engage those employees in each specific job or task that they're working on so we can reward them for good. Now, I was just having a conversation too about this with another guy, and he goes, well, not every employee really cares just about cash. So another thing we can think of too is, how do we make sure that we're making known our employees that we're happy with what they're doing if they're doing a good job? Some people like a pat on the back. They like some recognition. So take some time to kind of learn what your employee likes. This isn't going to be a happens overnight type thing, but this is something to think about. Maybe Jim needs just a pat on the back and to be told he's doing a really good job. And that's what lights a fire up in him. But a lot of guys, it's going to be dollar signs. Let's not kid ourselves. Maybe it's $100, maybe it's $50, maybe it's a 5% cut of the profitability on the job. But things like that can really engage people, give them some skin in the game, and make sure that they're really going after it when they're on the job site, which would create even less supervision needs. Fourth item, do you got good information to make decisions on? So a lot of these are predicated on, one, just having good information to make decisions with. If you don't have good accounting records or good financial statements or anything like that, how are you making decisions? Yeah, you can fly by the seat of your pants. Completely understandable. A lot of people do it. But to really get to that next level, to where you're really a business owner, you're really understanding what your investments are, these are something that you need to have and review on a weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, close to anywhere in a month or less. You need to be really looking at those financial statements because they are huge in telling you what has happened and helping you forecast what can happen in the future. Otherwise, we're making decisions on the fly, and sometimes we need to make those, but when we're looking at the business as a whole, we need to have some type of information to really help drive where our decisions are coming from. So what I always recommend to a lot of small businesses is QuickBooks Online. It's the gold standard. They're raising their prices a little bit, but honestly, it is the gold standard. It's the best integration between accountant and client. If I need to jump in for any of my clients, I can quickly do it on the back end. I don't need their passwords or anything. It's all ready to go. I can quickly update information. It is the simplest thing for you to use and to provide a ton of value. There's other softwares out there too, like Zero, QuickBooks Desktop, Sage. Those are all good softwares, but you should be using something to be able to track how the business is performing. My other thing that I'll tell you though is I don't know if any of you have read the book Profit First. One of my clients let me on to it, so got Audible, started walking one night, and really got into the book. It's a book by Mike Michalowicz. I'll link it down below so you guys can go check it out. But I highly recommend reading it, especially if you're like, Drake, I don't give a crap about what the financials are. I'm never going to look at them. It's never important to me. I check my bank account in the morning. I got cash in the bank. We're going to make payroll. We're good. Well, this book kind of helps you do some of those types of things. It gives you kind of some metrics around if you're a check the bank kind of guy, we can utilize some of that behavior to help us make our business incredibly profitable, make sure we're saving money for taxes, make sure we're using some behavioral type things in this book that it'll teach you to make sure we're limiting our expenses and kind of reining that column in. So great read. If that's the type of person you are, this can really help you out in your business. The rest will kind of be ancillary, the financial statements and things like that. They're still going to be important if you ever need loans or when we prepare taxes and things like that. But if you're a check the bank kind of guy, these are really helpful if you're small and really starting out. So check that book out by Mike. Finally, what I want to say is if you're doing one of these things or you're out there looking for advice on any of these, you're ahead of most people. I like to tell people that there aren't a ton of winners out there. And that's okay. Not everybody has to be a winner. That's a good thing. But if you're thinking about some of these things, you're practicing some of these things, you are miles ahead of other people. You're really doing a good job in your business, and it'll only help you out more and more the more you do some of these things. So I want to give you guys a little bit of encouragement as well. These aren't fun things. They're not sexy things, but they really do a good job to help build your business, to help make it where you want it to be, and really to help drive good decision makings. And on the back end, when things happen like taxes and you need information for the bank, all that stuff's ready to go. And so you don't have to scramble. There's nothing worse than scrambling for information, pulling through receipts, digging through all that kind of stuff. So if any of these things like resonate with you guys, I'd love to hear it below. Leave a comment and hit me up. Maybe you can go, hey, I need some help with some of these things. This is exactly what we do. It's what we're passionate about. And it's what we see as really that next elevator for businesses to really take them to that next step and help drive value inside of them and also see great returns on some of that work. So we'd love to work with you guys. We'd love to help you out. Our information will all be below. Get in touch with us, schedule a meeting, and just talk with us. We can talk business all day. So love to hear from you. Appreciate you guys watching. And if you got any questions, let us know. Thanks.